Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2. I'm really sorry about the wait time. We had so many issues, it wasn't even funny, but we're here now. We are casting from Dota TV because, again, we did have lobby issues, but at the very least, we're at least watching the game. John, are you there? No? Apparently, John isn't here either. That's fantastic. Alright,
I'm here, Mike. I'm here.
welcome, John.
Yep.
Draft's already started. I know we're a bit late to the party, but the draft's here. There's a Naga Siren, which is pretty interesting. Uh, there is a Necrophos being picked up as well by Newbee Young. John, do you see anything you want to talk about with this draft? I do realize we're coming a bit late into it, so it might be a bit hard.
It's a fairly standard set of heroes for Team Root, I have to say. This is something they've run time and time again in the H Cup and the Magnus, the Nagasaran, and the Shadow Shaman. If I wouldn't be surprised, although they banned the Dazzle themselves, so usually their lineup is like this, plus a Dazzle, plus a mid hero. Fairly interesting to note that they actually don't pick the Jug along with that Magnus for the most part, and I do believe that is a core Nagasaran that comes out. So it's something very different. Again, pretty odd, and that's just based off the draft. Okay, I'm not entirely sure if they do run that as a core Naga. I feel like they do because we tend to see it. Yeah, so it's gonna be a core Naga Siren with that Magnus. I'm not sure how that works out, but Team Root has run that time and time and again, Mike. If it's something that works out for them, so hey, it must have some merit to it. Newbie Young's draft, they do shake it up a bit. They have really good team fight. The Void comes out with a Phoenix. The combination is really potent if you can land your spells right. The Earthshaker as well to really cause some havoc to that Nagasaran illusion spam, and then Necrophos just for overall tankiness and sustain your team. I think it's a solid draft from Newbie Young, but they are playing against Team Root's preferred lineup. Like, this is something they've come back to a lot of times, and it takes us back to a time when Nagasaran Jakir was the opening mic.
Yeah, it certainly does. The only thing is, though, we haven't really seen these Naga Sirens working out very well as of late. I mean, we did see one game where they won, but it certainly wasn't because there was a Naga Siren in the game. That's the thing. Like, the influence, like, even with those Riptide changes, doesn't really seem to be there.
Yeah, it's very different to play around and very different to really it's a change up in the playstyle even as a core, so you have to understand that. I feel like, again, we keep seeing these core Nagasarans go for 404 by level 8, which means you really don't have control or influence in team fights. I feel like that's a bit hard to really maximize, although again, the Team Root has run this lineup again and again. They do pick up the Medusa once again for super, so that is his mid laner once more. I feel like Team Root does have a very strong lineup. They have to play around their cooldowns a bit if they want to take team fights. If not, they can push quite fast with a Shadow Shaman Jakiro might.
No, certainly can.
10 seconds remaining.
See what Newbie Young do this time around to try and combat this. I mean, they do have some different heroes going on, but certainly isn't going to be easy, that's for sure. And they actually go into their reserve time. And they do go for the Invoker. I was worried that was a random for a second, honestly. It was at 1 second, but it looks like that was probably on purpose. And they do go for the last pick Invoker now.
It's really strong in combination with that Void and Phoenix, of course. I think one thing you have to watch out for is anything that increases status resistance, especially in terms of items that can break your combo up as an Invoker. So have to watch out for any sort of items coming out from Team Root that does that. Fortunately enough, none of their heroes have innate status resistance increase. Nothing like a Omni Knight in Team Root's lineup, so it shouldn't be too hard as for AQ's Invoker to really cast all those spells and follow up quite nicely. But again, just one or two items coming out from Team Root could cause a few issues for that Invoker. Overall, I do have to say I like Team Root's lineup just a bit more, mainly because this is something they've had a lot of success with. That trio of Magnus, Nagasara, and Shadow Shaman, it really forms the backbone of a lot of their drafts coming out from that H Cup, so they have run this to great effect, Mike, and I feel like they should be able to do it here as well. Newbie Young has a really flamboyant draft, of course. You have the Void with Chronosphere, the Supernova coming out, and Invoker. So that potential for very big team fights is there. They, again, also have to play around their cooldowns, especially early on. The Sight does not have a short cooldown. The Egg and Chronosphere does not have short cooldowns as well. So you will want to really try to maximize that.
Prepare for battle.
We'll see how it all goes. Of course, Newbee, they are down 1 game so far. And Team Root, they'll be looking to take this 2-0 if they can. Newbee certainly have, I would argue, some better team fight potential, a better draft for this game. It's just a matter of whether they can get it online and just, play their hearts out against Root, who, well, they've got that Medusa, they've got that Naga. It's not going to be easy, that's for sure.
Definitely not easy.
If there's one hero that can do it, John, it's probably the Void.
Yeah, the Void has gotten considerable rework to his time lock, of course. It did get nerfed a bit, so the damage coming out is not insane, but I think the thing that really changed it up is the fact that the second, time lock is a second attack that comes out, so you can basically proc time lock from time lock if you're lucky enough, of course. And at max level, it's 25% chance. It's not that unlikely that you'll see double time locks come out, so it can be very potent.
Fonte keeps dancing around. It's like the top banner, and we'll go to the side of Team Root.
The battle begins.
And they will actually claim 3 on the Radiant end, it seems. So, again, a very nice start for the Radiant side. Newbee pretty happy to give one of their bounty runes away in both games, but I mean, they didn't really seem to struggle in the early game. That's the thing. They were taking off quite well. It was when you hit that mid game that things started to get pretty ugly for them.
Yeah, they weren't struggling in the early game, but they weren't shutting down Team Root either. And I think in that specific game, when you're drawing even against a Medusa and a PA, which takes a lot to come online, then you're not really winning your lanes. I'm sure you're not losing out, but you're really not pushing the issue, and you're giving enough space for heroes like Phantom Assassin and Medusa to farm up, which is not the ideal. This should be a bit different, though, as, you should be able to have some control in the lanes, especially with the Necrophos against this Medusa. It should be a bit harder for Neverend to really snowball out of control.
You see bot lane, DDC and League 1 having a go at each other. They will split it up just for now. Of course, AQ gonna have to really try and focus on making sure Super can't just do whatever he wants on this Medusa again. It's just certainly easier said than done.
Definitely so. He's already copping a fair bit of harass from Super. And again, Medusa lanes just tend to really take over for Medusa after a couple of levels. Early on, it's a bit of a draw. Then as it goes on, once you have enough levels in Mystic Snake, it just becomes that much harder to contest the Medusa. And, an Invoker is not the best hero at early levels. Level 1, level 2, even level 3 is kind of hard. I'd say level 4 is when you get a bit more comfy on the hero. But that does take quite a fair bit, and Super's already 1 level ahead, Mike.
Yeah, certainly is, and this is going to be problematic. AQ not feeling very comfortable to walk forward with this Invoker. Mystic Snake is just so much damn damage. Top lane as well. Xiao copping quite a bit of harassment from this Shadow Shaman. He actually does not have the Icarus dive yet. He's not level 2, and he does get hexed up, and that's first blood.
You've just achieved first blood.
Very, very strange positioning coming out from Newbee. Of course, the Phoenix being so far forward and copping so much right clicks from Shadow Shaman. Again, Shadow Shaman has 79 damage right now. And if you empower him, that's plus 15 as well. You as a Phoenix, you have 0 armor, plus 2 now with that Ring of Protection, sure, but you cannot trade with a Shadow Shaman on pure right clicks. You just can't. So you do have to be careful as Xiao Xiao with your positioning. He does have the dive now, Mike, so should be able to get away, but you have the Hex on Shadow Shaman as well, so that dive can be cancelled.
Yep, certainly can, and you have to be very, very careful if you're this Phoenix. Not to give too many kills away. Of course, the Shaman, though, with that right-click damage, it's just absolutely insane. You can't really trade at all if you're Xiao Xiao right now. And he's just going to have to try and find something to do around the map that can benefit his top lane. Though Fontaine now is the one copying the harassment. And it looks like DDC does end up denying himself at the bot lane. In fact, it was the T2 tower he denied himself at. Nothing too special there.
Yeah, again, that lower cooldown really helps you out. You get back in lane, you have a fresh set of tangos, sustain a bit more, and you can harass a bit more as well. KD copying quite a fair bit now. Does not have a level in Ghost Shroud, so his get out from jail card is not there, and his instant regen's not there, but he is applying quite a fair bit amount of harass with just the Death Pulse and that Heartstopper aura, so he's doing quite well for himself in this bot lane. Much better than in the last game. He's definitely far ahead of Neverend's Naga Siren right now, which is really what you want to have as a Necrophos.
I guess the question is, though, how much influence are you going to have as a Necrophos? Like, up against a Medusa and a Naga Siren, I'm just not sure how well that's going to work out.
Yeah, as you approach that mid-game, of course, I mean, sight is always going to be great. The issue is, can you get that sight off? I mean, the song will just basically stop you, for the most part. And you're really going to have to probably prioritize that Naga Siren, if you can find a real one. Right. Besides the issue of the song, it's of course finding the real Naga Siren to sight. If you don't, then it could get a bit messy. Again, the influence that this Necrophos has is a bit limited against illusion spam heroes, and Naga Siren is most definitely an illusion spam hero.
Yeah, and speaking of Neverend on that Naga Siren, he's just been farming the jungle for a while now. I guess with that Riptide, with the changes, you can just do this, and he's even stacking for himself as well. But he's just given up on that bot lane. He's not going to bother. It's just too much harassment from KD. He'd rather just get the farm safely in the jungle. And as it stands right now, he does seem to be doing pretty darn well in doing so as well. He's got 28 last hits. Just sending his illusions over different camps to hopefully get those Riptide procs going.
Yeah, it's I'd say this is pretty worthwhile. You're not giving the Necrophos anything in lane, at the very least in terms of kills. He's not going to be zoning you out, so you will get some progression in your EXP. And at the same time, at the very least, DDC can soak up the lane as well, get fast levels, and he can start melting towers later on.
Radiant structures are fortified.
DDC, at the very least, bot lane. He's been copying so much harassment, but he can just farm up this XP on that Jakiro and get a lot higher level than he should be as a position 4 or 5 Jakiro. Like super mid lane. Apparently finding AQ. There was a rotation that came in from the Shadow Shaman. And the Hex and Ether Shock was more than enough in conjunction with that Mystic Snake. Looks like
yeah,
he's
again, a good start. Sure.
He's going to find a double damage as well on that Shaman. He's rotating down bot lane. They're going to have a go at KD now. It's not an easy pickup, but then again, he doesn't have Ghost Shroud available still. So perhaps a bit of a mistake from KD, because he's just going to get caught out like that, and he goes down.
Yeah, again, that durability you have as Necrophos does come out from the insane amount of healing you get from Ghost Shrouding yourself and using Death Pulse along with your Magic Wand. Of course, it also buffs up the Heartstopper aura buffs that you get. If you have a couple of stacks on with that Ghost Shroud, you will regen back up. So without that tool, it's really hard to run away as a Necrophos. He was having a pretty good time in lane. He was level 6. I thought he was going to go for a sight in DDC earlier on. Just didn't come out.
Well, again, we have this... I mean, it's 3-1, but we do have a bit of a farm game going on from both sides. Neither really making too many rotations around the map right now. All of them just pretty happy to just get that XP and gold going. Especially like Team Root, like they seem to not be concerned whatsoever. I feel like they're just more than happy. The longer Newbee Young just allows them to farm, the better they're just going to be with their draft. Although bot lane, they are going to have a go into DDC. But he is even a bit too tanky as that Jakiro, and they're just going to have to leave him be.
Yeah, they can't even quite take out DDC just yet. I mean, sure, it's a Jakiro, but honestly, even without any items, yeah, he's a fair bit tanky. You do have to expend a couple of Death Pulses to nuke him down. KD did not go for that. And again, I feel like if you're gonna try to go all in as a Necrophos, you do want one level in Ghost Shroud. This is very much a laning build, and it's a farming build coming out from KD. It's definitely not something for kills.
And I wonder how much they are going to be able to get out of Fonte on that Void. Like, he had a pretty darn decent game last game around as well, but I don't know, against the Medusa, if she gets that Stone Gaze off, like while the Chronosphere is up, it's just going to be really problematic for her. Or for him anyway. Like, he's just not going to be able to do anything in his own Chrono.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, not just that. If you don't catch an August Iron as well, Never End can just Song. So you will have issues. You're going to have to try to catch Never End every single time that Chronosphere. And, you know, you're probably going to have to try to get Super in as well. Because as you mentioned, that Stone Gaze is going to be causing a lot of issues.
Well, they found the Shaman, but he just makes a run for it. Like Liu Yuan, he throws the Fisher out. There's just nobody around to have any follow-up. Mid lane, like, there's starting to become a pretty big difference between Super and AQ. He's already about 1.3k ahead of that Invoker now. Like, it almost feels like it's too late to stop this Medusa. Like, they're going to have a try. Chaos Meteor just thrown down. No, they're not even going to try for Super. Just going to leave him be. The bot lane. They have found KD. Macropie, Fonte is here. He will commit the Chrono. DDC will be a very, very easy target. Although, I say easy, they do have to go for the Reaper Scythe just to get that kill.
Yeah, that was 2 ultimates down for a support Jakiro. Not the best trade. I feel like TR is going to be very happy with that. Really. They don't lose Never End. They don't lose Super to those 2 spells. Instead, they lose a Jakiro. Which is, you know, it's not even farmed up. DDC just has Brown Boots, a Wand, a Stick, and, you know, and some Tangos. It's not like Jakiro has been doing quite well for himself. You can still see that Newbee feels pressured to find these kills, Mike, because they're really not applying too much.
Super finds a Haste Rune at the top rune, and he just rotates up, kills Xiao Xiao, who committed the Icarus dive to try to get a bounty rune. And now he'll probably just end up farming the jungle. Like, this is just one of those perfect Medusa games where it's like, how do you actually kill this guy?
You really can't at this point. I think you should take focus away from Super if you're Newbee. Do not try to go for Super. You're probably better off trying to get this Naga Siren before she has a level in Song. So you should try hunting down Never End. It's just that they have really no map control advantage yet to start sneaking in that jungle. Which means Never End can just free farm like this in the jungle. And you know, he's way beyond now what he had in lane. He's 90 to 3, 11 minutes in. Pretty much second in net worth, right behind Super's Medusa.
Well, they're going to try for DDC again bot lane, but he just dual breaths and he is out of there. Like, they're still chasing for him, but I don't know what the point of this is. He has a shrine available. At the very least, they'll make him commit the shrine. But that'll be all they get out of that. KD, he'll just go back to farming that bot lane. But again, like, you look at those 2 cores on the side of Team Root. I mean, Nagasai and Medusa both at the top. Both starting to look very, very scary. Never End with the Empower now can just farm so darn fast. And he is going to go for the Diffusal Blade build as well.
Yeah, again, TR very happy with the sort of start early on. It looked like you might have said, you know, one could say that the Medusa was not doing well against that Necrophos. It doesn't matter in the end. It just farms that jungle up. Now Never End's just gonna chase down an Earthshaker, and I think he's dead. He's dead.
Yeah, that Empower damage, like, he's hitting for almost 150 per right click right now. Oh my. Things are certainly not looking great for Newbee. They are 2k net worth behind, but which doesn't seem like that much, but the thing is where all that gold is going. And they seem to be confident enough to, I mean, assume that they can take them late game, but I don't know about that. DDC now will cop a Reaper's Scythe. It won't kill him off. He will end up getting a Macropire off before he dies, and now Never End. He's trying to find a target. He does have the song, and he will commit it. They found the Necrophos, and that is well worth it, I feel. With that, KD, can he actually escape this? No, he absolutely cannot. Super will pick that kill up for himself.
Yeah, so again, not the best trades coming out for Newbee. They get DDC's Jakir once more, but
is under attack.
DDC's Jakiro is probably one of the lowest heroes on your priority list. I'd argue probably the lowest hero in your kill priority list. He's basically just there to take your time away. And he certainly has. Newbee has been focusing so many resources on shutting down a Jakiro instead of really just hunting that jungle up.
Now Lei gets RP'd and they have the Hex. Where's the follow-up? The Ice Path comes through, but it looks like they were afraid of the Chrono coming out. The only thing is, he's up top. Fonte, he doesn't even have a TP available.
I think that was a bit of a mistake. It looked like they were expecting Yao to skewer back. It was on cooldown, so the supports were a bit out of position and they didn't commit. Very odd.
Well, they'll find KD anyway, though. I mean, Serpent Wards probably weren't necessary for that, to be honest. Like, they just needed a Hex and maybe Shackle, but nevertheless, Super, he'll start hitting the tier 1 out of its own range. I guess that's a tier 1 tower going down. The top lane. Echo is committed onto the Nagasara, Never End. He does not have a song available though. Look at the damage he's giving to the Earthshaker. They will end up wiping both of them. And now the Chrono. But the Stone Gaze was there from Fonte. Excuse me, from Super onto Fonte. And he just... Oh my. John, they couldn't even burst the Naga down.
That's a very big issue. I feel like you've missed your window on shutting Never End down with just 2 heroes, 3 heroes. You definitely need the Necros there with that Reaper's Sight now to take care of this Naga Siren. And, you know, you're going to have to commit a couple of ultimates to kill them off. Now, I mean, this is the hero you should be shutting down that way, right? Not the Jakiro, not the Shadow Shaman. And they've done it again, White. Reaper's Sight on Jakiro.
I know,
Why?
That's the thing. I realize that John Super is going to run into Xiao Xiao. That's what I'm confused about. Like, as you were saying that, I'm watching bot lane and they TP 3 heroes in just to get a Jakiro out of it.
They're going to lose their top lane from that. I mean...
Well, there's got no way to react.
Yeah, they've wasted their TPs. They're going to have to walk up if they want to contest. Fonte is there. Maybe that's enough to force Yao back. They do back off, so that tier 2 is going to be up for a bit longer. But again, the target prioritization for Newbee is just really questionable.
Well, they found the Earthshaker mid lane, and Lei Yuan. One more right click will do the job. The Super, can he catch up? Yes, he can. The 1 charges will do absolutely nothing. Now RP onto 2 as well. Yao's found him. Can they burst him down fast enough? The answer is absolutely. Super commits a Stone Gaze again, I guess just in case the Chrono was coming. Again though, Fonte was at top lane farming up with no TP available. But with that, who cares if you waste a Stone Gaze? You get a tier 2 tower.
Yeah, and that is our first tier 2 at 16 minutes in. Again, very good start for Team Root. And Newbee, I feel like they have to get it together. They have really good single target spells, really good, pretty good team fight coming out as well. They just need to find the right target. And it's not DDC. Most definitely not this Jakiro.
Fonte, top lane, may get caught out. The Hex is there in time. Yao, he does not have an RP available, but he probably doesn't need it. Felt like there was a second there for him to react to that, but he may have wanted to go in, honestly, because the only person he did see for that split second was Yao. And then he ends up losing his own life anyway.
And, you know, I'm a bit worried about the build coming out from Fonte. He's going for that Battle Fury. It's not going to amp up his damage in that Chronosphere, which is already very minimally impacting because of Super. So, not only is his team, his team fight capability not that high, he also went for that Battle Fury, which means he's probably going to want to farm a bit more.
Well, who they found? Another Hex onto a Phoenix. There was a Radiant Ward up on the high ground. They were trying to go for the D Ward, John, but that's while they're hitting the tier 2 tower.
It's a bit odd. It's again a prioritization coming out from Newbee. Their movement in this game is it's strange. Okay, it looks like they might be able to get Never End at bot lane now, but Never End's just TPing home.
And as time goes on, it only gets worse if you're a Newbee fan. 7k net worth lead to the side of Root, and Super again, same build, but he's almost got that Eye of Skadi. It seems like he's gotten the same build, just even faster this time.
I think so. His net worth at this point is pretty much insane. 12.5k at 18 minutes in. Nagasaran, not too far behind, 9.6. Next heroes from Newbee that are followed up are the Invoker and the Void, and it's not the best again. With his Void going this Battlefield, you're going to want Fonte to farm up quite a fair bit. The Invoker does have his Aghanim, so he can do something, I guess. But without Roshan, you're going to have to expend so much to kill this Nagasaran twice over.
Oh, they found another one. The Phoenix again. Zhao, like the Roshan goes down, but the reactions coming out from Root are just so quick. They end up finding him again.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Top
attack.
lane, Lei Yuan. Gonna get caught out. The Diffusal Blade does come out, never end. He has the Ensnare, so you cannot go for that TP, and he will just end up falling.
I mean, this is really the power of Core Naga now, I feel. The fact that you cannot TP out of Root is pretty darn big. And, early on, again, when this hero is really weak is at the early levels. That was Newbee opportunity, their window to really force this Naga to be
Dire's top
basically
tower is under
non-impact in
attack.
game. Instead, they just let Neverend farm the jungle quite freely. And they really have a vendetta against DDC.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. They just really seem to like hunting him down and getting really nothing out of it. EDC, I mean, bottom of the net worth of his team, but it's a Jakiro. He doesn't care about that. He's there to Ice Path and throw Liquid Fires out. And that he shall do. Bot lane, another tier 1 tower going down.
Dire's structures
Only one outer tower left, although Newbee, they are going to go for a smoke attempt now. And Fonte, he's going to land the chrono of his lifetime. He does jump in onto Super, but there's a song available. Ice Path comes out, the song is there, and Chrono does absolutely nothing. Not only that, but now they're in a bad position. The egg at least will stun them, but just in time, the Echo does come out. Now the RP though. Yao found 3 of them with that Ether Shock as well. Dragging back into that Macro Pyre. They're all down on the side of Newbee. Oh my. And they call GG War play. John, how can you not? You just got 3-man RP'd, skewered back into a macro, and you committed your Chronosphere and your egg.
I mean, Newbee, they just had a lot of issues in that early game. Again, there was a very big window where you could really exploit the vulnerabilities in Team Root's draft. Medusa, you could probably gank up quite early on, and Naga Siren especially is just very susceptible to dying in that laning phase. Just didn't happen, unfortunately enough, and that is a 2-0 for TR, and we can see why they won that H Cup.
Yeah. And on that note, John, we do have to head off to the next lobby straight away. Again, we had a few lobby issues. Hopefully this time there won't be. I can't promise anything, but if there is going to be lobby issues, I assure you we'll try to fix it a bit faster. It is MLPDota and johnxfire. John, we'll head off to the next lobby. It will be Team Root versus eHome, for anyone wondering. And you'll see it up on the screen anyway in just a moment. But we'll be right back with you. Won't be too long.